3 Golden Eagles for War Thunder. Link in the description. Hello you sexy beasts, welcome back to Hype Thunder. Holy crap, a lot of information has been exposed during the stream that just ended. Wow. Yeah, the Gaijin definitely heard our laments from the last streams not being quite enough, and they went way overboard with this one. Over 1 hour of actual gameplay, which is good. So yeah, they pretty much exposed, well, revealed all the ATGMs that are coming this patch, or at least I think it is all of them, as well as a new map, a new vehicle, and a new mechanic. Yes guys, Medkits are coming into the game. So the vehicles that we saw were four. Of course, a couple of them we knew already. The RT-1, we had the M551 Sheridan, and the Raketenjagdpanzer in action. But we also saw a new one, which is a Swedish modification of the Centurion Mark III, which can carry 3 ATGM missiles on the side of the turret. Sadly, that tank is going to be a premium. It's going to be a tier 4 premium. Because, well, it is Swedish, so it can't really be in the main British tech tree. Now, that might either mean that we're going to get to see another ATGM vehicle in the British tech tree, since they don't have any researchable ATGM vehicles, or we are not, and that is going to be the only technically British vehicle with ATGMs at its disposal. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. And as for the vehicles themselves, it was actually quite interesting seeing them in the game. They did some custom battles playing against other devs, and we saw some interesting stuff. So, I think the first tank we saw was the Raketenjagdpanzer, if I'm not mistaken. That thing was interesting. So, it is based on the chassis of the Jagdpanzer 4.5 and as such can go very fast. It can go up to 70 km/h either forwards or backwards. Yes, that thing is very fast. Now, it can carry up to 2 missiles at one time, and I think it has up to 14 or 15 missiles stored in the main hull. Now, these missiles are interesting. They are shaped charge missiles, can penetrate up to, I think it was 350 or 400 millimeters of armor. They pretty much act like heat FS shells, and they are guided via the controls. Now, here's the thing. I think there are going to be 2 different eras of ATGMs in the game. We have here, of course, Era 1 ATGMs and Era 2. Now, the Era 1 ATGMs are going to be listed via movement controls in RB. So instead of aiming them with your mouse, you actually have to aim them with the WASD keys, which is going to be extremely challenging. Era 2 ATGMs will not have to be aimed with the movement keys. You can just aim them with the mouse, and of course in AB it doesn't matter, you can aim all ATGMs with your mouse. Now the Raketenjagdpanzer gets 2 of those. Each one can cover actually quite a wide area to the front and to the side, so meaning that the Jagdpanzer 4.5 chassis is no longer limited to the front. However, of course, the tank doesn't get any kind of armor. It only gets 50 millimeters. Now the rockets reload pretty fast. You can fire 2 of them in very quick succession. They had some trouble actually hitting anything. Of course, this is still work in progress. The patch is still in development. We aren't even in the dev server, open public dev server phase yet, so all of this is going to change. But here's something interesting. The missiles do not seem to have a minimum range. All of them, as well as for the other ATGMs. It seems like the minimum range that is implemented in real life is not going to be implemented in the game, which is going to be a huge buff to the ATGM, since in real life you would have to be at about 600, 700, 800 meters away. In War Thunder you will not have to be. You can just fire them at point blank range, which is a savior for the IT-1 and the Raketenjagdpanzer, since they do not get a main gun. We also saw the IT-1 for the first time in action. It's based on the T-62 chassis. It has some decent armor. The turret is about 250 millimeters of armor, effective all around. The hull not so much. I think it was about 110, 140 millimeters on the upper plate. So the hull is definitely the weak spot of the IT-1. The rockets reload rather fast, but you can only fire 1 at a time. So personally, I think the IT-1 is going to be the weakest ATGM launching platform that we can see. So yeah, pretty much the opposite of Russian bias. We also saw the Sheridan in action, and the Sheridan was as fun as I expected it to be. Third rotation speed, of course this was in IB, the gameplay we were shown was in AB, but the third rotation speed seemed to be rather good, it seemed to be very good, which means that this thing is exactly going to be a KV2 on an M18 chassis, so to speak. The HE shell, it can carry two different shells, it can carry a HE shell and a Heat FS shell, and it can also carry, of course, the Shaped Charge ATGM missile. And holy crap. Now, they did not show the HE shells. But from the Q&A that did after the stream, it was confirmed that the HE shell has 45mm of penetration. So, yeah, it is exactly like a KV2, but on a much faster platform. The ATGM missile is launched out of the cannon barrel, and the reload wasn't all that bad. It seemed to have the slowest reload of all the tanks that will have ATGM missiles, since it is fired from the main barrel as opposed to any other of the tanks that were presented, but it wasn't quite as bad as I was expecting it to be. Counted with a about 20 to 30 second reload. That was the estimate that I had, at least the impression. In the same game, we also had a look at a new vehicle. Yes, we have a new amphibious vehicle. The, what was it called? Ah yes, the LVT-A1. It is going to be an American reserve vehicle. So that's going to be the earliest example of an amphibious vehicle in the game. It is armored with a 37mm cannon and two vertical machine guns on the back, which aren't really going to be all that useful, but I guess it's just extra crew that you can use to survive for longer. And the tank is of course quite large, quite spacey. Now it's just a reserve tank, not much to say about there. It's a 37mm cannon, has AP shots. It can float, that's pretty much all there is to it. Now we also saw a new map, which is by the seaside. Port Novo, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. It seems to be a mix between an urban map and a seaside map, which is going to be interesting. Of course, you can use the LVT to go through the water, the PT-76 as well. You can use the long ranges of sight on the port side, or you can go through the crowded city area itself. So that's going to be an interesting map. Lots of destructible environment around. The houses themselves, I'm not sure if they are destructible, but you have lots of walls and stuff like that you can use to hide yourself from the ATGM threat. And just zip around the map. And finally, we also saw a new game mechanic. That game mechanic being the Medkit. Apparently each tank will get one Medkit, which will be used to revive one teammate. Now, here is something interesting. It seems like if you have only one crew member left in your tank, the Medkit is going to be used automatically to revive another teammate so that you still have two members in your crew. This is sort of a last standing mechanic, but not quite. It's somewhere in between. The last man standing mechanic seems to be removed. It has been removed in a patch a couple of days ago. And it seems like it's not quite implemented in the next patch, but with the Medkit it kind of is. Of course you can use the Medkit manually as soon as you have a dead crew member, so you can revive that. This is actually going to be very good for stuff like the KV2, where having a dead loader is pretty much a death sentence. You can use the Medkit to revive your loader and be back on track. So this is actually a good addition. I think I welcome this addition. The Medkit is going to be a bit of a meta changer, so to speak. It's going to be useful, let's say. Now, we don't know if we have to research a medkit or if it comes with the tank. If it has to be researched, of course, the stock grind is going to be, well, it's still going to be a stock grind, but, well, we'll have to see. It comes from stock, that's good, that's good. Ah yes, the thing I forgot to mention, of course, I completely forgot to mention this. A Swedish Centurion with 3 ATGMs. This is going to be a premium tank, sadly. So, yeah, this pretty much just the Centurion Mark III with some rockets strapped to the side. Now, it only gets 3 ATGMs, and you cannot reload them from within the tank. Those are all the 3 you get. In AB, of course, you can reload them on the fly. In RB, you will have to get into a capture zone to reload them. However, they are fired in a very interesting manner. Of course, you can fire all 3 in very quick succession. I don't know why you want to do that, but you can. You still get the main gun, which is absolutely amazing, with that APDS shell. You still get the main tank, of course, and the Centurion. And the rockets are fired it's weird. They are fired at an angle upwards and then come down wherever you aim them at. So it seems like these ATGMs can be used to be fired from behind rocks, behind cover, where you can just hide your entire hull and fire the ATGM over an obstacle. Of course, I don't know if that's going to interfere with the aiming process, but we'll have to see about that. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, the ATGMs on the Premium Centurion are going to be first gen ATGMs, which means that it will have to be controlled with the movement keys. So that might actually be better, since you don't have to rely on your aim. You can use those to go around cover. At the same time, it's going to be much harder, of course, to hit anything. Anyways, guys, this was all that we saw in this stream. What do you think about it? We finally saw the 4th ATGM, the British ATGM. We saw a new mechanic, we saw a new reserve tank, and we saw a new map. Tell me your opinions of all those mechanics and maps and tanks in the comment section down below. Like this video if you did, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, my name is MikeGoesBoom. Thanks for watching.
You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly